What's the meaning of life? Is it in the Bible? Is it about thriving or survival? Should I eat idle or hunt with a rifle? Is life a cycle or a spiral? Should I believe in Metatron or Archangel Michael? Shiva, the backslash leader of Jesus and his disciples. Is deciphering the meaning even vital? Is there an afterlife or is death final? Is it about charity in the face of calamity? Is my purpose to find a wife and start a family?
Well, I'm joined on the programme this morning by a Jedi from G.A.N.G, G.A.N.G, which stands for Guiding a New Generation. Good morning to you.
Yes. Happy New Day, Vanessa.
Oh, happy new day to you. I wish this was a happier day. I mean, yet again, it's a day when we're talking about a triple stabbing. And you know, I've already had a caller saying when he was growing up, he's 77, he says he thinks London was a far safer place. He doesn't remember anything like this happening. He doesn't think that London used to be like this. I mean, what's your take on the fact that the local MP said, well, it's a gang called Moscow 17 and it's about territory?
Well, we can point fingers and we can name gangs, but a gang is just a collective of children. These guys don't have anything whatsoever for them to do over the summer. I'm a youth worker myself. I'm born and raised in Peckham and Camberwell, and I can tell you, growing up in Camberwell, nobody was safe from knife crime in the 90s, in the early 2000s. Knife crime was there. I think it's just been reported more, but the conditions that these kids are living under are getting worse and worse because there's lack of opportunities. Tell
us a bit about it. When you say growing up there in Camberwell, so exactly where we're talking about this morning, and you say no kid was safe from knife crime then, and tell me what it was like. I mean, what was it like for you, for example?
Well, I grew up on North Peckham Estate, right opposite what is now the Damiola Taylor Centre. Another young child that was stabbed. You don't need a knife. It could be a bottle. Violence is a symptom of the anger and the oppression that I think these children are subconsciously experiencing, and we have to look at society in ways to alleviate this frustration that the children are feeling inside.
You see, there'll be people listening to this who live and work there, and there'll be, for example, teachers who work in the schools there, and they'll be thinking, what, oppression? You know, I've been teaching these children, I've been doing it with all my love and all my heart, and we have music in assembly, and we have wonderful art departments, and we do marvellous dramatic productions, and I'm trying to infuse them with my love of geography, and I've given my life to this. And then this guy, Jedi, comes on the radio and says these children are suffering oppression. What kind of oppression are they suffering?
Well, I'd say it like this. Ask anybody to come and meet you in Peckham. Anybody that has like those kind of views, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening, come and meet me down on the Brandon Estate. Come and meet me down in Peckham, Nunhead. And I guarantee you they'd be reluctant because there is an image, regardless of whether you want to admit it or not.
Yes. It's
clear that there are things going wrong in these areas. This is why people living in Notting Hill and stuff like that wouldn't find themselves there late at night. It's like your worlds apart. You can be in a school system, be teaching the kids, but it's what's happening at home.
All right. Well, what is happening? What is it that people living, as you say, in Notting Hill, which obviously has problems of its own, I must admit, but anyway, that people in Notting Hill or in Barnet or in Highgate or in Dulwich or wherever they are might not understand. You tell me what we might find if we came down there at 10 o'clock at night.
You're gonna find basically areas where these kids are left to their own devices. They've had no support. There's literally no programs working with these children on a grass level to engage them and give them things to do with their time and energy and give them hope. These kids feel hopeless. You might think, they're just 14, they're just 13, but children are intelligent. And I feel like what we need to do as a society is look at ways to encourage these children to blossom. And I feel like right about now, we're just pumping money into the police, into the prison system, and not into the children. How many projects are running over the summer for these children, for them to do constructive stuff that may lead to a trade or some kind of way out of these estates?
Well, I've got to say, all the time we do keep hearing them. We keep hearing of projects of all different kinds. I reckon we feature them almost every day on this programme. Different projects, different programmes, different interventions.
Are they, Vanessa?
I don't know.
Because for me, it just feels like a bunch of people from outside of the areas getting funding. It's a race for funding. Sadiq Khan mentioned that he has some funding for youth, and everybody lost their damn minds. It's like an Easter egg hunt. They don't care about the children. You need to employ, you need to empower the grassroots projects, the people from their own communities. We need to train up people from their communities to police their own communities and act as mediators. This is what we need.
So mediators between whom and whom?
Between gangs, between the young groups of boys from opposite areas of the same postcode, from people that live 5 minutes down the road from each other.
And also,
they have no way.
But what about the element in this which isn't the kids and it isn't the parents? It's business. It's the guys in suits that everybody says nobody ever sees and nobody ever knows who they are. The people at the top of the pyramid, the ones who are really making the money, the ones who are really pulling the strings. Those people, because they're the people obviously kind of masterminding it. I don't want to glamorise it in any way. I know how tawdry and how horrible the whole thing is, but they're the ones raking in the cash, and essentially the kids and the youth are really at the mercy of these people, aren't they? It's not to do with whether their parents are being good parents so much as whether the inducements of cash or the terrorisation and the threats are too hard to resist, isn't it, really? It's
big business.
Big business, exactly.
To be honest, the prison system, big business. The people that get the funding, big business. And the children are left, I mean, they're poor. These kids are poor. These kids are poor in all sorts of ways. Financially, emotionally, they're lacking experiences. They're lacking opportunities to go out there and see the world. Most of these guys haven't even left their own borough, let alone the city, let alone the country. So, I mean, it's a very insular kind of community, and the only way for it to get some fresh air, for it to get some ventilation, is for the community itself to now start punching holes and actually, they have to feel empowered. They have to feel like the person on the ground, the next door neighbour, can make a difference. And I'm so happy to hear people out there trying to intervene and save the young man's life. Unfortunately, he died at the scene, but we need to create more of a community spirit. And I think the only way to do that is to really invest in the grassroots people.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate it. I hope to keep in touch with you. Thank you. That's Jedi, the guest from G.A.N.G, guiding a new generation. And we'll be straight back with you after the travel.